Well, I tried, guys. I told myself, hey, I'm just going to do a quick video on this one. Enjoy the next 22 minutes of footage. Gosh.
Hey everybody, I'm Josh the RV Nerd. This is Haylett RV, and that is a 6,400 pound plus minus, anyway, J Feather 24BH. Now, if you're a regular follower of ours, you know that we've already got some pretty current footage of one of these, so why would I be re-recording one of these things? Well, that goes hand in hand with the reason that I'm going to call her Victoria, because she's got a couple secrets, kind of like my favorite magazine in high school growing up. But I wanted to be able to show you the alternative decor to the modern farmhouse, as well as show you a little camp kitchen update that is now across the board on all of these. Jayco has applied their new partnership with Blackstone griddles all the way through the J Feather family now. So this is kind of what their camp kitchens are going to look like, since they're very good at standardizing these things. And I'm happy to see that, because they do, compared to like the little 2-burner stove, this will be a lot better outside where it's a little bit windy, which is where you're going to use a camp kitchen, obviously. Not to mention the fact that it burns hotter more evenly, so that you don't get like one spot of chicken overcooked and one spot raw, because nobody likes raw chicken except for maybe a fox, and we still can't figure out what the fox says.
And again, I'm going to try to clip through a little more quickly than normal. I know, I'm aware I'm long-winded. I get it. I get it. My wife tells me all the time you talk too much. She's not wrong. But what I'm really looking for here today is I'd love feedback, not only just what do you think of this model, but some of the optional items that are present on this copy of it. And that's why sometimes I'll even get you, multiple sets of footage so that you can really kind of, pick and choose and compare. Like normally this RV would have a U-dinette right here. We're looking at the L lounge option. We're going to come back in a minute when I got a better angle on that to give you all the good details on that. The woodwork tones that we're looking at today is called Vintage Washed Gray. I think it's pretty darn sharp. I think it's a nice alternative to modern farmhouse. It's a little more consistent. Some people aren't super big into the very high contrasting two-tones. Although, when you see this entertainment center, you'll actually see that there is still a little bit of two-tone action, but there's something about it that feels like maybe it just meshes and blends a little bit better here. I also, in case this is the first time you've seen it, I would like you to clip over to our other copy of the 24BH video and give us some comparison information, but I also want you to get to see all the storage, so I think we're actually going to start that right here. Because as you see here, that bunk flips right up, it locks in place, and it creates a huge cargo space. I mean, you could use that indoors, outdoors. Little bicycles, totes, things like that. I've actually heard some people shove a small kayak up through there to be able to transport something like that. So that was a really interesting thing to me, because those were actually people who were not looking for a bunkhouse. They were seeking a couples model. Some handy little drunken octopus coat hangers right when we walk in the door, and we've got the light shining down from the heavens on this amazing walk-in closet and pantry. No space wasted behind the entertainment center right there. So we back up a little bit. Little Tootsie Toastin', vent right there in front of the entertainment center. Keeping your shoes warm, so if you go outside in the spring and the fall, you'll be, nice and toasty right there. They couldn't make the storage over the head, over the head of the TV. I think you know what I mean. Above the TV. Too darn deep, because you got that big closet. But that's where most of this is going to come into place. This is all pocket screwed cabinetry. And again, today we're looking at the Vintage Washed Gray decor. Again, I would really appreciate your feedback. What do you think of this in comparison to the modern farmhouse that you see so commonly? I personally, I really like the farmhouse. I know some people are not all hot to trot about the, distressing accents that it has. Some people say, well, that looks like it feels dirty. I think this is a cool alternative, and it's not the same generic brown that everybody has had for so many years. That is, by the way, the 8.7 DC compressor fridge, the 12-volt fridge over there, giving us about 33% more cold storage capacity while cooling faster and being completely travel safe. And that big sliding door up to the bedroom, I think, is actually one of the things that makes this floor plan work. And I say that because that big wide open sliding door that they have there makes the whole thing just look and feel so much larger, There's also the little Jayco details. like they include this vertical piece of trim so that there's no little peekaboo gap around that thing. Not that you really could anyway, but it gives you the peace of mind. It's like, you know, when you're in the stall of a public restroom and there's always that little sliver around the door and you're like, I swear, I know somebody's looking at me. Well, sometimes in a camper you feel that way. Now you don't have to. Also, considering the fact that you can latch that sliding door, which most manufacturers don't take the time to do, little Jayco things, like the way that they frame out their windows. It's those extra details. And even though this RV isn't super duper tall on the inside, like an Eagle HT or an Eagle with their 7-foot plus ceilings, they still give you a light switch. And in a weird way, that's almost a criticism I have for Jayfeathers this year, if that even makes sense, is the fact that they have gone so far above and beyond in so many ways that, you know, they have way more features than the average person in this size, class, and price point. It's almost deceptive, you know. They are very tricked out, very well appointed. They're doing stuff like this. Like, they've got the overhead cabinet, as you can see. I've done like a 50-50 setup and display on this, half open, half closed, to give you the idea. That handy overhead shelf, I will admit, I will always try to give you the real, guys. I did clock my head on that, trying to take some pictures. That being said, I wasn't laying down in the bed. I was trying to sit up in the bed, so it was a bit of a noggin knocker, but that was also partially due to my own stupidity, you know. But I'll always give you the fair skinny on something. The closet over here, that's a removable shelf. So if you just want tons of dressers, some people are like, why do I need hanging clothes? I'm camping, man. Then there's this kind of stuff. Both sides of the bed have the outlets, like you saw right here. But up here, White Hawks and Jayfeathers, they have, like, behind the dresser, the hanging closet there, you have these handy little side stands that have their own household outlets. That is a cool, almost little, like, CPAP kind of station, phone charge station, or just, you know, personal, maybe private items. They're just things that, you know, you want to just lay your wallet out of general sight. You can do all that there. Now, this second entry door here, I know some people are hot on this and some people could, you know, trot on this. But it does deadbolt. So remember, you know, if you don't want people walking into your bedroom, they don't have to. The reason this is here, though, is for slide closed access, because when the living room super slide is closed, you're going to lose access to the bedroom without it. We will take a look at that in just a minute, by the way. First, though, I'm going to spin you around like a record, baby. I like that extra vent up top. And there actually, I'm sorry, I want to point this out. There is a little vent fan right there, which is going to be enough for just one room like this. But if you want to upgrade to a larger fan, you can. What's cool is they have another one of those vent fans, not just in the bathroom, but up here, above the entertainment center, in the room that's going to get the most people breathing and body heat. They standard include the big XL vent fan. So you can always have, there's 3 areas where this RV is constantly pushing, pulling, recycling airflow. Speaking of which, we will typically outfit these with a larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner here at Haylett RV. So if you want to freeze it down to make your teeth like a little chatterbox, you can. But the little Jayco details again, slide my glove off here. Every vent in every centralized air Jayco can open, close, turn individually. They give you a great deal of individualized control over your airflow. And I failed to pull it out. That TV can pivot, by the way. That TV's on its way. Actually, you know what? I can probably just do one of these right here. Look at that in real time. Bam! TV swings right out. So, you know, if you're standing in the kitchen, you want to do some work, you know, you can do it from there. You can't quite, I mean, you can see it a little bit from bed, sort of where I'm at, but not really. I'm not gonna make that up. The countertops here in the kitchen, by the way, sealed edge pressed membrane. I really kind of buzzed over the kitchen earlier, but I want to give you a good look around it. Like the fact that you have easy reach outlets here. Now over here, that's one of those pop-up power towers. So it's there when you need it, gone when you don't. Furrion stove, oven. Cool little detail fact on this. They have a gas check sensor so that when you turn on the oven portion, it doesn't actually start pumping gas into it until it detects a spark, so that you can't turn this thing into a bomb by forgetting to spark it. Most RV ovens, the sparker doesn't even operate the oven. You have to light that manually. Furrions do cost slightly more, but it is also an appliance with a little bit more engineering and potentially, you could argue, superior function. Now, we saw that big L lounge. I mentioned how standard this RV has a dinette. Well, that's the thing I like about the L lounge, and it's actually why I like to call it the Swiss Army sofa. because this thing only does everything. You want an open lounge, you want to be able to kick your feet up. Not exactly, but kind of like a theater seat. You got that lounge section. You could always get like a little, sliding box bench over here, ottoman to kick your feet up all the way across. You could do that. You want to lay down, stretch out, and, enjoy a little midday movie time on a rainy day. You could do that. Obviously, you got the table here. If you need to do some eating at it, you can. And it leaves room in front of it. If you want to add a couple little removable chairs, I'm sorry. I'm still like, the caffeine's still kicking in. You know that old phrase, grind it. So if you can't find it, like, I'm grinding my gears until I can finally find my gears today. But I'm trying, folks. That's enough about me. My point is, you could use this exactly like a dinette. But it's the other features that it brings to the table that I really like. Because when you need it, this thing can also, just like a U-dinette, fold down into a sleeping space. And frankly, I think it's actually a larger sleeper in total, and it gives you the ability to kind of sleep in a couple different ways. You could sleep lengthwise, you could sleep, other lengthwise, since it's kind of an L shape. I don't know what I was going for there. I just know that I didn't get there with it. So that's like a trifold memory foam sleeper sofa. It's a little more narrow than like the sleeper sofa you'd find on the back of a fifth wheel, but it gets the job done. The other thing is there's more storage inside this, once again, just like a U-dinette. And I actually wanted to hopscotch on both sides of this thing so that you could see, yes, you can actually very easily walk past and walk through this even when it's in sleeper mode. So up under, we're going to call it the headboard, there's like a little chest, and I think that's going to be perfect for like the bedding, the linens, or maybe a rollaway little padding mattress that you could add on top of the sleeper sofa. It just kind of helps smooth out the bumps a little bit, But this is always going to be functional whether you're in, sofa mode or not. That handy little storage chest space that you have right there. So that's what I'm saying. This is why I like this, because it gives you the functions of the big dinette, while still giving you a little bit of flexibility. If you don't want it to be just a dinette, you want it to be a more comfortable daytime sofa, well, you got that too. I think we've already pretty much kicked the butt of everything else in here. I want to show you a couple little bunk details before we head into the bathroom, though. First of all, upper and lower bunks both have their own little mini phone shelf and some handy USB and power outlets and their own breeze windows. They put the breeze window on the back wall of the lower bunk because the camp kitchen door would block it if it was over here. Now, anytime we're getting that tripping on the hide-a-bed that I left open like a dummy, takes situational awareness that apparently I'm lacking. But open air ladder wall makes the RV look and feel bigger. Also, look at the thickness of the bunk mattresses. Rockwood's also good about this, but Jayco's been doing this for a long, long time. They do thicker bunk mats, and you're going to see superior materials like plywood. That is why Jayco's bunks are rated for 300 pounds per sleeping space, which means these double bunks are 600 pound rated. That's a very cool thing. Another handy little Jayco detail, a locking bathroom door so that you can have 5 seconds of peace when you need it. Because we all love our families, but every now and then, when everyone's hot and sticky and sweaty and tired, we do need a little bit of a break. Now, did you notice how the decor changed a little bit? The vintage wash gray decor only applies to the living room and the kitchen. The bathroom will always be farmhouse, and the bedroom will always be, brown tones or whatever. So, there are multiple different color palettes going on at the same time. But the idea there is very hey, what do we have at our house? Do we always have the exact same decor in every single room in our house? And typically, no. And since this is the smallest room, they wanted to give it the brightest colors. I love bathroom windows. I don't even know why. I would leave the shade drawn all the time, but it feels classy, right? You'll also notice every little nook and cranny they possibly could. Just like the rest of the RV. There's nothing wasted here. I mean, there's always different things you could you could do on this. Even over here, we've got more places to like hang towels, to set some toiletries, something like that. And this radius shower, it actually gives me some elbow room. This RV, because of its interior height, I do need to have my head in the bubble a little bit, but it's not bad. I can get in here. I can do what I need to do. I can hop out. It's just no big deal. So what are we missing? Oh, I got to close the slide. So remember that you have that direct entry door into the bedroom. What about if we close the slide? What else do we get? Well, with the slide closed, we maintain the ability to walk through here very easily. That doesn't block you off at all. The freezer's easy to get to. The fridge, far more limited. Depending on what it is, if it's small, you could reach an arm in there and grab some stuff. But there's just, the only way that they could have given you better access is if they really, really took a chunk out of your kitchen counter space. And I don't think anybody would be really excited about that. Now, if I flip around the other way, this is also a neat way to be able to show you if that rear bunk door's in cargo mode, you really do have like a nice long loading space here. And if you have the U-dinette versus the L-lounge, it'll actually be even a little bit less intrusive. So then the last question is, what about the bathroom? Is it going to clear the slide fascia? And the answer is ding, ding, ding. Yes, tell her what she's won, Gene.
I figure as long as we're really focusing on updates on this one, I'd actually start back here where the update action's happening. But as long as we're back here, I do suppose it is a good idea to take a quick look through the rear cargo door here. Now, just like the main entry door, just like the bedroom door, that deadbolt's for privacy. And I love those little cargo hooks that are down there. That was a smart addition on Jayco's behalf. And again, if you want to make sure that that's closed and you have full security and privacy, you got it. She's rear camera ready, side camera ready, and has the J Smart safety lighting package where all your clearance and marker lights blink along with your turn signals. And look at that awning. They put themselves a big honkin' awning on that thing. If you want to get a good reference for how big it is, jump back to the beginning of the video where I actually got some quick footage of it. But the reason we're here, the update to the camp kitchen. I suppose in a sense it's minor, because all they did was change the cooker from a slide open little grill to the 17-inch Blackstone griddle. But I don't, I kind of consider that a big deal feature. That is a best-in-class kind of cooker operation there. That is the 17-inch model, but notice how the little tray that they have has those extra foot pegs. You can go up to the 22-incher if you are so inclined. You may also notice how this has that updated J-port. That's the little 2-inch receiver hitch where the accessory pops out right here. First of all, that's very flexible. There's an entire whirl of accessories that you can apply to that, like even little waste baskets and stuff if you want one outside, which is an underrated, really handy feature. But they had to put that on there to get it far enough away from the RV to, make sure that the heat wasn't going to cause any issues. And Blackstone themselves even insisted on including that little heat shield around the griddle just to help sort of prevent any kind of hiccups or overheating or anything like that. This is all galvanized rolled steel. You're going to see power outlets on both sides of this pseudo-symmetrical camp kitchen. A little less symmetrical now since the Blackstone update, but I don't know, overall I think it still gets the job done quite nicely. Got the little mini fridge outside. And again, trying to be fair, if there's one thing I could change on this, it's that I would rather see a real sink with a drain versus the little flip-out dog dish. I understand this design is very visually appealing, but I prefer a real sink all the time because a lot of campgrounds, they don't want you flipping gray water, just on the ground. National parks don't want you doing that stuff. Now you see you got the little scorpion tail, seahorse neck thing going on right here. That can be removed and you could utilize this handy little coily sprayer hose thing, and Jayco actually does include the little attachment with it. And this is actually like a drawer. That cutting board cover can pop out and give you a little bit of access space down there. So feedback time, really let me know, like, what do you think of what they've done here? Because overall, I like another thing too. You can turn that Blackstone 90 degrees if you want it to face outward. I kind of thought, it looks good when it's facing inward. That also gives it a little more clearance from the optional upgraded stable steps that we're looking at right here. And that actually is my only concern with this design, is that I just don't want like the little kids who are walking up to lose their balance and grab that thing when it's cooking. So you could always, you don't have to use it on this. It's got its own little, you see those foot pegs sticking out down there? If you wanted to put this on a little picnic table and have it separated a little further from those steps, you could do that. So I just kind of want to give you a little, proactive kind of dad warning advice right there. Those Goodyear Endurance radials giving us a best-in-class 87-mile-an-hour rating, though I hope you don't ever tow one that quickly. And again, that power awning clears both doors, clears the camp kitchen. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how a power awning is supposed to be done. Other manufacturers take note, because that is one thing they absolutely did properly here. As we whip around the front, just a smexy looking spaceship nose cap on this thing. The double propane tanks with auto regulator, but frankly, what RV doesn't have something like that? Something that is a little less common though is that this has both roof and side solar prep, and a Norco chassis, which is like a lighter weight Z-frame, Gosh, that is a good looking trailer. But the chassis helps save a little weight by being able to go a little bit thinner gauge on the steel because it's a higher grade steel. Big pass-throughs on both sides here. And you notice how they give you storage all the way up to the bottom of that overhead side stand. And an easy reach battery disconnect switch here is something very few RVs in this class offer. This does have an enclosed heated underbelly. It's also got a key-like system where all of the keys on all the baggage doors and entry door, all one thing. So you don't have to walk around just a whole bunch of keys, you know, jangling off your hip or whatever. Yeah, actually, I think we pretty much got it, although I do want to get you back here behind the slide next to the sewer hookup station just so you can see it does have a black tank flush, it does have that full outside utility shower, and just a quick mention to the fact that it does have those, you know, tinted windows to help keep the sunshine and the nosy neighbors out. And with the weather finally warming back up, at least a little, I mean, it's cold, but it's not icy, I can get back up here on the roofing, get to show you around. Notice how they're using all white fixtures. That will help keep those things from, like, especially your air conditioner shroud from overheating. A lot of brands like to use a black shroud because it looks cool. But you know what? An air conditioner is something I definitely want to function first and look cool second. Like all Jaycos, this has their Magnum Truss roof system, which has the heaviest load rating in the towable RV industry. Frankly, this J Feather ultralight travel trailer has a roof that can withstand more weight than a lot of the luxury fifth wheels that are out there. If you start piling cinder blocks up on this, it'll actually hold more. That being said, why would you do that? Now, this one does not have the solar option on it, but that's that little black plug on the right over there. If you are interested, you can get a 190-watt factory-installed roof solar package on these. And I tell you what, I am grateful for that sunshine. Get rid of that snow like it's done. The wind is a little chilly, but it's drying everything out. We got a good season coming this year, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, please jump over to the, I'll leave a link in the video description so you can check out the other copy of footage that we have on one of these, which has a little bit more information in a couple different areas, so you can kind of cross-compare the two. And let me know, like, do you like the updates that they made on the camp kitchen? Which decor do you prefer? Would you prefer the dinette or the L lounge now that you've had a chance to go through and look at the lounge? Like, what works for you, folks? And I always appreciate that feedback, really appreciate the support, and if you appreciate our willingness to totally double down and get you a full second set of footage, please click that subscribe button. Support our family-owned and operated operation. Yeah, here at Haylett RV, and we'd love the chance to work with you when you're ready. I can see I got another one coming in behind me back there. Nope, that's just a truck. I'm wrong. My wife will tell you I was wrong before I woke up today, though. So take care, stay safe, have fun. Happy Haylett camping, everyone. Let me know what you think about the other decor and options.